Okay, so I meant to do this earlier on Wednesday afternoon, but I was just like really tired and it was hard for me to get motivated. But I'm back from work and I finished my paperwork and I can go ahead and do something real quick before I go to sleep. So I'm not too tired yet. So why don't we go ahead and do another DC Multiverse unboxing? And this is Owlman from Forever Evil, who of course is kind of an evil version of Batman. And speaking of evil versions of Batman, here's a sneak preview of something to come. Yes, I got the universe of evil super enemies Batman from the Super Friends line, along with the rest of Wave 1 of Super Friends. I've got the evil Batman, the regular Batman. I've got Green Lantern. I've got Sinestro. I've got Lex Luthor. So I'm excited about opening those up. Oh, and the Riddler. I got the Riddler too. And I did finally order on Amazon because I saw them for really cheap. So I decided to go ahead and order them. Finally got the Pink Riddler from the New Adventures of Batman line. So the Filmation Riddler from the opening credits of that show. So he's going to be coming out soon. So anyway, here's the artwork on the back. Nice piece of artwork of Owlman leaping down at probably some hapless victim. Uh, so, brief history of the crime syndicate of America. In the golden age of comics, you had Superman. Superman was very popular, so they introduced more superheroes. They introduced Batman. They introduced Wonder Woman, and most appropriate for this conversation, they introduced the Flash and Green Lantern. Now, all these characters were very popular all throughout the golden age, but eventually the bottom dropped out of the superhero market, and really, the only superheroes that survived through the Golden Age were Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Oh, yeah, and Green Arrow and Aquaman because they were backups and, comics with Superman and Batman in them. So they managed to squeak on by. And if you count Superboy as a separate character, which technically, in a legal sense, Superboy is supposed to be a separate character, even though it really is Superman, Superboy survived. But eventually they brought superheroes back. And when they did, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman were still around. But they made new versions of the Flash and Green Lantern. So Jay Garrick became Barry Allen, and Hal Jordan replaced Alan Scott. So then, when younger readers found out that there were previous versions of these characters running around, they hey, what happened to the original Green Lantern? What happened to the original Flash? Well, they came up with an explanation for that in Flash. They reintroduced Jay Garrick and revealed that that Jay Garrick and Alan Scott and the rest of the Justice Society of America existed on a parallel universe called Earth 2. And eventually, after a few guest appearances in The Flash, it was decided to go ahead and bring back the whole Justice Society and have them meet the Justice League. And that story was really popular. So, of course, they had to do a sequel to it. And what better thing to do for a sequel than introduce a third alternate reality, which featured an evil version of the Justice League? Hi, Aunt June. Good to see you. So it's always nice to see my Aunt June when she pops in for the live show. She doesn't always make it for the live show, but she usually catches the replay and leaves a comment. But she's here right now, so everybody say hi to my Aunt June. So yeah, the crime syndicate weren't exact duplicates of the Justice League. They weren't the exact same characters. So Superman was instead Ultraman, Wonder Woman was instead Superwoman, and Shawnee Ma is here. Hey, it's been a minute since I've seen you. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, Batman became Owlman, and then you had Power Ring for Green Lantern and Johnny Quick for the Flash. And I do have I'll be opening those up next. I do have the Ultraman versus Superman 2-pack, where he's called Superman of Earth 3. We'll discuss that more when I open that up. And I have the Platinum edition of the Simon Baz Green Lantern, who is actually Solomon Baz because he's actually the Earth 3 version. He's Power Ring. So this guy is not actually Bruce Wayne, even though he's an alternate version of Batman. Bruce Wayne's older brother, Thomas Wayne Jr., is actually Owlman. And you might be saying, I don't think Bruce Wayne had a brother. Well, yes and no. In the 1970s, there was a story in World's Finest Comics in which it was revealed that Bruce actually did have a long lost brother named Thomas who was brain damaged and basically in a coma in a special needs kind of hospital. And this was a storyline that eventually just got completely ignored because nobody wanted to deal with Batman having a long lost brother at all. But there were a couple of issues that featured this character in the 1970s. It won't surprise the hardcore comic fans to know that Bob Haney wrote that story. I love Bob Haney, but the dude wrote some crazy stories, let me tell you. So Grant Morrison, as Grant Morrison is wont to do, picked up on this little itty bitty piece of comic book trivia and wound up using Thomas Wayne Jr. as his version of Owlman. So that's kind of interesting. This version of Owlman looks very similar to how Owlman looked in that Earth 3 graphic novel, but not identical. This one is actually, as the package notes from the Forever Evil storyline, and they did use a lot of the design that Frank Quitely came up with for that version of Owlman, but it's not 100% accurate. So let's go ahead and open them up and have a look at him. And while this is a new 52 version of Owlman, and obviously Power Ring is going to be a new 52 version of Power Ring, the version of Ultraman that we'll be opening up on the next episode is 100% the Grant Morrison version. So I'm very excited about that. I really like the design that Frank Quitely came up with for Ultraman. So let's go ahead and have a look at the trading card and the figure stand. And first we'll get the trading card off of here, and hopefully I can get that off of here. Voila. All right. And it's got the same piece of artwork we saw on the back of the package. That's what the back of the trading card looks like. And it reads, Chow Ni Ma says, good day to Aunt June. So there we go. So that's nice. Where was I? Okay. It reads, Owlman, Forever Evil, data file, real name, Thomas Wayne Jr. As a boy, Thomas Wayne Jr. plotted with the family butler Alfred to kill his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, whom he feared were squandering his inheritance. His younger brother, Bruce, was also killed by Alfred and Thomas to stamp out any weakness in the older boy. As an adult, Thomas would become the brutal Owlman, ruling Gotham City by any means necessary. After the destruction of the world, Owlman transferred to Earth 0 with the crime syndicate. He disappeared following the defeat of the crime syndicate. So, yeah, there we go. So I guess that sums up the Forever Evil storyline, which I never read, so not really a big fan of New 52, but whatever. And then let's have a look at the figure stand. And there we go. Typical matte black figure stand with a glossy DC logo embossed onto it. So in the Earth 2 graphic novel, Grant Morrison's version of Owlman, he worked with the mafia boss Jim Gordon to have to have Thomas Wayne killed. So that was I guess Alfred was part of that also. That expanded on that origin a little bit. I don't really like the idea of Thomas Jr. killing Bruce. I kind of feel like that's the one thing that he would have been upset about. That would have been the thing that didn't go according to plan. Who knows, if Bruce had have lived, he could have been Owlman's Robin. But oh well. Go ahead and get that off of there. And then there's this rubber tab got caught actually in the wrist joint. So I got this one a while back. I actually got it when it was on clearance at Walmart. Aunt June says, good day to you too, back at Chow Ni Ma. So we're all We're all getting along here. That's nice. So I got him for pretty cheap. I kind of wish I had got a second one now because he seems like he'd be a good figure to use for some customs. And there we go. You can see he's got the Owlman logo that was designed for the Earth 3 graphic novel. Very kind of stylized owl head. Same on the belt buckle. Kind of a Batman-esque uh, utility belt, but it's in silver rather than Batman's usual yellow. He's got where the cowl kind of reaches over the shoulders. And I like that Owlman's costume is kind of a reversal of Batman's costume. So while we typically think of Batman, like the classic Bronze Age Batman outfit, I got the superpowers figure here, so I can use that. He's got a blue cape and cowl, blue gloves, blue boots, and a gray bodysuit. Whereas Owlman, gray cape and cowl, blue bodysuit, and this one has black boots and black gloves. But that can kind of vary on different versions. Like I said, this is the post New 52 version, which I think looks really cool. I don't know if I'd say I like it better than the Frank Quitely design, but it's about as good. It's about on a par with that one. But yeah, so and I really like the Frank Quitely design of Owlman, and I like that actually a lot better than the Silver Age design of Owlman, where he had like more of a realistic looking owl head piece, and you could see like his whole face. And in that appearance, he was drawn as kind of like paunchy and middle aged. I don't know if he was supposed to be like combined with the Penguin in that universe or something, but he kind of looked like the Penguin a little bit physically. Now that was when, like I said, his first appearance in the Silver Age, and God, what was the name of the guy who drew that? Mike Sikowski drew those, and he kind of had that style. Where a lot of these characters would look a little more, older than typically your superhero characters would look, and they all look fairly stocky. But yeah, the oh 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 Chow Yimon says Ba Weep Grad Na Weep Nini Bung is the Universal Transformers greeting. Oh yeah, he said that earlier. I'm sorry, I didn't read that one. I was talking about the history and everything. So yeah, I should acknowledge that. Yeah, I'm sorry, but but yeah. So when they redesigned him in the Earth 2 graphic novel, they made him a little more cool looking, and he had the big owl goggles. And I think most people that are watching this would probably be most familiar with Owlman from the Crisis on Two Earths animated movie, which if you haven't seen, I do highly recommend that. And James Woods played Owlman in that. So, and he was awesome. He was if ever there was a guy who was born to play evil Batman, it's James Woods. He did great. And like in that one, Owlman was so nihilistic that his ultimate plan was he wanted to destroy the entire multiverse, everything, because he felt like it was the only action that could possibly have any meaning. Really, really interesting motivations that he had in that, and great villain. Always, Owlman's always a great villain, but especially in that. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about his articulation. Owlman can't look up very far, but you can see his helmet kind of drapes over the back of his neck, so that kind of keeps that from happening. He can look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quickly from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotated all around on the shoulders. They do kind of bump into the shoulder pieces there a little bit. That's to be expected. And then he's got the kind of Mcfarlane butterfly joint, so you can get some wiggle room there. They move back about that far, forward about that far, up, down, about that far. Chowny Ma says, these are owl hours. Great timing, dude. Yeah, well, I tend to keep owl hours myself, but yeah, it is appropriate for a nocturnal creature like Owlman, isn't it? All right, so he does have the bicep swivel, so the bicep rotates all the way around. He's got double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. You see, he's got this very spiked sort of glove there, and he's got like talons at his fingertips. Very cool looking. So he's got the good Mcfarlane torso articulation. So the torso rotates all the way around where the rib cage meets the abs, and where the abs meet the hips. Unusually, this is not something we usually see on Mcfarlane figures. The belt is actually attached to the abdominals, not attached to the trunks. So he can bend back about that far, bend forward about that far, but be careful that you don't accidentally pull the trunks out of the belt too much. So Owlman can kick up about that far. So excellent range of motion at the legs, and they do have that slight bit of wiggle there. They don't rotate all the way around, but they do rotate a little bit. He can do the splits, no problem. All right, he's got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. He does not have a boot cut, but he does have the cool Mcfarlane ankle articulation. So the ankle rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the shin, and it rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the foot. His foot can point down about that far. His foot can point up about that far. And he's got toe articulation just to show off. So anyway, pretty cool figure. I do feel like he's a little physically slight. Like he probably could have had a little more bulk. And I think this reuses some parts that we've seen before. Like I think that the torso might be kind of based on that Dark Detective Batman or whatever they called him. The same one that they reused for Midnighter. I think they might have done that. I don't know because I didn't think to bring Midnighter over here with me to compare, but it does look very similar in terms of design. But since they're both kind of alternate versions of Batman, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So, but yeah, I do feel like he probably could have had like a little bit more bulk, and that probably would have been, better. But he's still a pretty impressive looking figure. And we've still got 2 more Crime Syndicate figures to go because we've got Ultraman, which I'll be opening up on the next episode, and another Superman figure that's in the 2-pack with that. And then I will have Power Ring, and then I think I'm probably gonna start on these Super Friends figures. So I might do those next week, but I might go ahead and get a start on them in the next couple of days. If not, I'll probably do something else in the meantime. So I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. But that's pretty much it for Owlman. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Owlman, both the figure specifically and the character in general. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.